Have you ever known that the way you speak changes the way you see the world? What if I told you that in Arabic, even sun and moon have genders? A table can be feminine, and a book can be masculine. I know it might sound strange, but for Arabic speakers, this is completely normal. Most Arabic learners quickly notice that everything in Arabic is either masculine or feminine, but many of them struggle to tell the difference. It gets overwhelming when struggling to memorize the word gender, then forgetting about it when it's time to speak. And even though gender exists in some other languages, like Spanish, French, and some other languages, but Arabic has its own special and unique way of using it. In this video, I'm gonna help you make sense of all of that clearly and simply. I'll be discussing the following ideas. How language shapes the way we think. Everything has a gender in Arabic. Examples for masculine and feminine in Arabic. How the grammar follows the gender. How to recognize masculine or feminine words for the non-native learners. It's not always logical. Arabic isn't alone in this. Gender influences sentence endings. A challenge for learners. Language is not just grammar, it's a lens. How language shapes the way we think. There is a powerful idea in linguistics called the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. It suggests that the way we speak influences the way we see and perceive the world. Arabic, with its deep-rooted system of grammatical gender, is a fascinating case. It doesn't only label people as masculine or feminine, it assigns gender to almost everything. And this precise rule can shape how we emotionally and mentally connect to the world around us. In Arabic, everything has a gender. Unlike English, where nouns are mostly neutral, Arabic gives every noun a gender, either masculine or feminine. This includes not only people or animals, but it also includes ideas, objects, and even abstract concepts. A tree, the sun, love, happiness, freedom, time, and money are all either he or she in Arabic. Each of these words is classified as masculine or feminine, which can sometimes be confusing for learners, especially when some abstract concepts like love or freedom don't align with what might seem spontaneous in other languages. But it creates a world where nothing is neutral and everything has a kind of personality. Examples for masculine and feminine words in Arabic. Let's take a clear example. In Arabic, the sun, ash-shams, is feminine, and the moon, al-qamar, is masculine. At first, this might seem random. Why the sun is she and the moon be he? But when you think about it, you might find that it makes sense in a deeper way. The sun is bright, warm, and gives life. Maybe that feels more like a mother. But the moon is calm, cool, and often distant, like a quiet father figure. Without even noticing, we start to connect feelings to these words just for their gender. And here is the power of the language. How the grammar follows the gender. Gender in Arabic isn't just for nouns. It influences how the entire sentence is structured. Adjectives must match the noun's gender. Verbs, pronouns, and even question words change depending on what or who you're talking to. This creates a kind of harmony in the sentence. Everything must agree. For example, if you are asking a man how he is, in Arabic you say كيف حالك كيف حالك. But if you are asking a woman how she is, it becomes كيف حالك كيف حالك. That one letter at the end shifts everything. And that is not all. Gender also influences adjectives and numbers. For example, the adjectives follow the gender, and they change based on whether the noun they describe is masculine or feminine. If they are describing a masculine noun, then the adjective must be in its masculine form, and if they are describing a feminine noun, then the adjectives must adjust accordingly. For example, Jamil means handsome or beautiful for masculine nouns, but Jamila means the same but for a feminine noun. Numbers also follow the same pattern, as they are taking different forms based on the gender of the nouns they are modifying. For instance, اثنان meaning two are used for modifying and counting masculine nouns, but we use اثنتان meaning also two but for feminine nouns. So اثنان for masculine and اثنتان for feminine. How to recognize masculine or feminine words for non-native learners. For beginners, figuring out whether a word is masculine or feminine in Arabic might seem tricky, but here are some helpful tips. Tip number 1, many of the feminine words, even nouns or adjectives, end with ta marbuta. Many of them, not all the feminine nouns, but many of them ending with ta marbuta. Like for example, when you say excellent library, for example, مكتبة ممتازة. So مكتبة, library, ending with ta marbuta, and also ممتازة, like excellent for feminine, ending also with ta marbuta. Tip number 2, most words referring to females are feminine, like meaning mother, for example. And tip number 3, masculine words on the other hand, for most of the times, they lack this ta marbuta at the end. However, it's important to say that there are always exceptions, and not all the feminine nouns and adjectives are ending with this letter ta marbuta. As a beginner, you can rely on these tips, but at the end of the day, you will need to memorize the gender of words, especially the irregular ones. These tips will help you for the most common cases, but practice and exposure to the language will help strengthen your understanding for the language. One of the interesting things about Arabic gender is it's not always logical. Why is سيارة meaning car is feminine while قطار meaning a train is masculine? There is no clear reason, it's just how the language evolved. And that's part of what makes learning Arabic both challenging and beautiful. You are not just memorizing vocabularies, you are learning how each word fits into a gendered universe. Arabic isn't the only language where gender shapes grammar and thoughts. Languages like Spanish, French, and Hebrew also use this grammatical gender rule. In French, for example, la voiture, the car, is feminine, and le soleil, the sun, is masculine. The opposite of Arabic, where the sun, ash-shams, is feminine. This shows that each language reflects a unique way of seeing the world based on and shaped by its own gender logic. Gender influences sentence endings. One of the most important impacts of grammatical gender in Arabic is how it influences and changes the endings of words. Whether you are addressing a man or a woman, the ending of a word or a phrase will always change and shift to match. This is especially very important in conversations. A simple single letter like ka for masculine, for example, and ki for feminine can completely change the meaning and the tone of your sentence. For example, when you are speaking to a woman in Arabic and want to say thank you, you say ashkuruki, ashkuruki, okay? But this totally changes when you are speaking to a man and want to say the same thank you. You have to say it like ashkuruka. So notice the last letter ka and ki in both feminine and masculine. I know it's delicate, but it matters. A challenge for learners. For non-native Arabic speakers, mastering gender in Arabic is really challenging. It's not only about memorizing some words less, but it's totally thinking differently. Every time you learn a new word, you have to memorize its word and then see how this affects the rest of the sentence. But the good part is, once you get it, this will make your Arabic sound very more smoother and more natural and more connected to the Arabic language soul. Language is not just a grammar, it's a soul. In the end, Arabic's use of gender is not just a grammatical rule. It's a lens, it's a way of how we see the world, and everything in this world has a personality, has a balance, and also has some relationship. Masculine and feminine are not just labels, they are part of how Arabic breathes life into language. And maybe through Arabic we see the world in a more colorful and connected way. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with any more learning tips on learning Arabic. And don't forget to get your free copy of my book, 100 Must-Know Words for Beginners. Just subscribe to my newsletter Arabic Secrets. I'll leave the link in the description and you will directly get your free copy of my book. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video and مع السلامة.